From the Podwires newsroom at joinpodwires.com.
Good morning, this is Miguel, and welcome to Podwires Newsroom. Today's headlines examine critical developments reshaping audio content creation, including new research on artificial intelligence voices, significant advertising momentum, and major platform expansions. We begin with data revealing how podcast audiences are responding to AI-generated content in their favorite shows. New research from Sounds Profitable's Podcast Landscape 2025 survey indicates 47% of podcast consumers would be less likely to continue listening if they learned their favorite podcast featured AI-generated voices in either content or advertising. The study surveyed Americans aged 18 and older who had consumed podcasts, representing 75% of the population. 21% reported they would be more likely to continue listening, while the remaining respondents indicated no change in behavior. Sounds Profitable partner Tom Webster notes the resistance appears linked to educational attainment rather than age demographics. Among respondents without high school diplomas, 37% expressed reluctance toward AI voices, compared to 49% of those with postgraduate degrees. Webster suggests this pattern reflects informed wariness about AI's threat to white-collar employment rather than ignorance about the technology. The findings indicate those with higher education recognize the existential implications for entire worker classifications. The research follows controversy surrounding Inception Point AI's announcement to create thousands of AI-generated podcasts weekly. Podcast agency Adopter Media issued calls for disclosure to protect advertisers from low-quality content. Comparative data from the Audio Publishers Association shows similar trends in audiobook consumption. 77% of audiobook listeners indicated willingness to try AI-narrated content in 2023, declining to 70% in the 2025 survey. Industry analysts emphasize that success with AI-voiced content requires not only technical excellence, but addressing fundamental concerns about displacement of human creators and performers. Turning to the advertising market, August data reveals strong momentum in podcast advertising spend, led by Amazon and Albertsons. Magellan AI reports Amazon invested $6.8 million in podcast advertising during August, increasing from $6.1 million in July. This spending level positioned Amazon as the month's top advertiser. Teladoc Health, parent company of BetterHelp, reduced spending from $6.3 million in July to $6.1 million in August, moving from first to second position in monthly rankings. The data demonstrates podcasting's continued appeal to direct-to-consumer brands. Washable Sofas expanded its investment from nearly $5 million in July to just under $6 million in August, while online clothing retailer Quince maintained approximately $5 million in monthly spending. Major traditional advertisers also increased presence in the medium. Toyota and T-Mobile each allocated $4.2 million to podcast advertising, while State Farm invested $2.6 million, Wayfair spent $2.6 million, and Unilever committed $2.2 million. The top 15 podcast advertisers collectively spent $54.3 million during August, below July's $59.3 million from leading spenders. 9 prioritized sports podcasts, with 6 others focusing primarily on comedy content. Magellan's analysis of brands showing largest spending increases highlights supermarket conglomerate Albertsons, which invested approximately $1.5 million in August, compared to just $289,000 in July. Insurance companies made notable entries into podcast advertising. Geico increased spending from $300 in July to $388,000 in August, while Liberty Mutual initiated podcast campaigns with $269,000 in spending after zero investment the previous month. In platform and distribution developments, New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce launched on Prime Video in the United States yesterday. The Super Bowl Champions podcast joins Prime Video's expanding sports content lineup alongside other Wondery productions, including Baby, This Is Keke Palmer. The move provides the show's community additional viewing options beyond traditional podcast platforms. Among episodes available at launch is the record-breaking Taylor Swift interview, which achieved 1.3 million concurrent viewers on YouTube, establishing the highest viewership for any podcast on that platform, according to Guinness World Records. Meanwhile, podcast studio QCODE announced the launch of Daylight to provide creator services, accompanied by a new growth funding round from Eldridge Industries. The expansion formalizes QCODE's role supporting creators with advertising sales, distribution, and marketing services. QCODE will continue operating its studio division, financing and producing scripted and unscripted content, with new programming expected in 2026. Daylight will exclusively manage advertising sales and distribution for The Weekly Show with Jon Stewart, alongside partnerships including The Chris Cuomo Project and You Should Know. Early QCODE investor Ben Curtis assumes the president role at Daylight. QCODE founder Rob Harding states the funding will support hiring and technology investments for monetization and creator support services. He declined to disclose the funding round size. Research from the United Kingdom demonstrates audio advertising's strong return on investment across broadcast radio and digital platforms. Radio Center's high-gain audio study, developed with WPP Media using ThinkBox Profitability 2 research, analyzed 141 brands with $1.8 billion in media spending between 2021 and 2023. Digital audio delivers £5.20 in profit return for every pound spent over 2 years, while broadcast radio returns £5. Both exceed the all-media average of £4.11. Brands allocating 15% of total media budgets to audio experienced 5% increases in overall short-term campaign return on investment compared to campaigns excluding audio content. Finally, 2 significant podcast milestones mark this week's industry landscape. Where Are You Going?, hosted by Catherine Carr, concludes after more than 200 episodes and over 1 million downloads. The series began in 2014 as a BBC World Service project before transitioning to independent production with Loftus Media. The final episode features Financial Times critic Fiona Sturgis in conversation with the show's creator, reflecting on the podcast's evolution and the medium's development over the past decade. Simultaneously, Global announces Coining It, hosted by Lewis Goodall, launching September 30th. The 6-episode series examines James Parker's story of exploiting a Bitcoin glitch that generated millions, drawing on exclusive interviews and previously unreleased police interrogation recordings. Those developments conclude today's podcast industry briefing. This has been Miguel. Don't forget to subscribe and be a paid subscriber to continue our work, as we only rely to our readers to support us. For more up-to-date podcasting news, head over to joinpodwires.com. If you are podcast producers, join our podcast marketplace to promote your business.
That's your wrap. Want the inside track on podcasting? Joinpodwires.com is your next stop. Subscribe to the newsletter for the latest trends and tap into the marketplace to connect with jobs, creators, and brands shaping audio's future. Don't just listen, get involved. Head to joinpodwires.com today.